Register for free. Choose from over 200,000 vehicles online. Get your car straight from the USA and Canada. Financing is available.
So with this one, what you are going to do is you are going to build a power supply. So I'm waiting for my Arduino to load up. If it can load up, what I'll do is I'm going to use my AI to do that, because I have the um, software already. So I'm just going to use the AI to make it easier. So what I'll do is let me open my drive to check my project. So there is the project. We'll continue with the ECU simulator later, but for now, so if you can see the AI that I used to write my code, that's what I've written here, Gemini. So let me copy it onto the PC, then I'll open, let me do copy. Let me go to desktop. Paste it here. So now that I've pasted it here, so we are going to only work with this. So what I can do is I'm going to open wrap. So when you open wrap in your terminal, you can use it to do a lot of things with this one. So normally when you open wrap in your terminal, you can also use the wrap to do to help you edit and upload the code, because I don't know why my Arduino is still giving me this delay. Let me try and open it from here and see if it's going to open the file itself. If not, then I'm going to use either Gemini CLI or wrap to do the coding and other stuff. So let me see if I'll be able to load it here. So today I've delayed a bit, and the project also, you can also use this software. You can also use this software to build the project and load the code in it. So you can also use this software to build. So if you can see, this is my breadboard, but the type of sensors I'll be using, I do not have it here. Let me see, I don't have those type of sensors here, because I'll be using the current measuring sensor, which is which is ACS712, and I also be using another sensor which is not available yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to the AI so that the AI modifies the code for me. So I'll tell the AI I have additional sensors that I want to add to it, something like the voltage sensing voltage sensor to it. So let me show you the sensors that I have. This measures up to so let me show you, let me bring you guys up so that you can see the type of sensors that I have. So these are the kind of sensors that I have. So if you can see, I'm using the voltage sensor. Then I'm going to use this one also, which is the ACS712. So, and a screen, then the encoder. Then I'm using this board also, the development board. But one thing which is left out will be my power. So with this development board, I can use it as my power supply also. Just feed it 12 volts or 5 volts. And also I'll need the breadboard so that I can do the wiring, because some of the sensors use I2C. And I have this sensor also, which is used for measuring current, but this sensor uses what we call I2C. But today I'm not sure I'm going to use it. I just wanted to make the project very simple and easy. So what I'm going to do is just to test the voltage and measure voltages and check if they are correct. So let me take you guys back. Then let me open. So with that one, I can use this board, this software to do that. But my only problem is I don't have those kind of sensors here. So if you can see, I don't have those kind of sensors here for me to do the wiring. If I had the sensors here, that one I can easily do the wiring, and they have a way you can customize these things, but I'm not that much into it. So I've not been using this software lately. So what I'll do is let me see if I can get. Normally these are the core sensors that I'll need, but I'm not getting the sensors that I need in here. So let me just move on straight to my power supply. So the best thing I can, the next thing I can do is, now that I don't have the sensors, I can close this software, then concentrate on this project here. So this is my project. This project I've been trying to develop it several times with the AI, and moreover, when you are trying to do some of the projects, so with this project like this, what it can do is, after all this, you can see the Bluetooth serial library, right, which is included. So with the Gemini AI, it was able to give you explanation. One thing I like about it is it also gives you the explanation. So the only sensor that I don't have now, which might affect my project, will be this, because when I connect the power supply to it, then that means my MCP4725 sensor, what it does is, this is a potentiometer, by a digital potentiometer, which I'll be using it to change my voltages and my current. So when I connect it to the project, these are the potentiometers that I'll be using, but these are digital potentiometer, instead of me using that blue thing on the power supply. So let's say this is my power supply, right? Let me bring it on board. So this is my power supply that I'll be using. So this blue thing, which is for the regulating of voltages, but I'll be using a power supply which has voltage regulator and also has a current regulator, so that I can set a constant current or a constant voltage for it to work with. So sometimes when you are charging batteries, so if you can see, sorry for the mess, if you can see, I'm charging this battery right now. I'm charging this battery and I set it to 4.2 voltage. So this is also what we are going to do. So if you can see, I've done my wiring from AC to DC, then a boost converter, then a step down converter. So the boost converter will boost the 12.8 volts that my AC to DC power supply is giving me, then it will boost it to 14 volts so that my back converter will be able to reduce it, the 14 volt, to any lower voltage that I need. But now I'm using 4.2 volts. So if I want to charge a 12 volt battery supplier, a 12 volt battery like this one that I have built here, I'll just set it to 12 volt, 12.6 volts. Then my BMS, which is the battery manager, will also do what we call will also stop the charging whenever the voltage is up to 12.6. So it will go to 00 for me to know that I've gotten to 12.6. Even if I set my back converter to 12.7 or 12.8 or 13, what my BMS will do is the moment it gets to 12.6, it will just cut the charging, it will just stop current flow. So with this one, I'm charging only this single cell that I took from a power bank which is damaged, and you can see there are two cells, right? So this one is damaged. I open this side and push it in. Sometimes the gas push the protecting layer here out, so it makes the battery lose connection. So I push it in. Let me open it for you guys to see. Then we go back to our power supply. So if you can see, you open it. So when you open it, you push this thing in so that anytime this power supply stop, anytime this voltage has 0 volt, you just push this. This is a protective layer that they've built. So when you open it, you just push it in to see if you start getting some voltage. That's the same thing I did to this, and the gas got out, and now I'm having some voltage. So the next thing I'll be doing for this battery is I want to measure the milliamps or the capacity of the battery. So I have this battery capacity tester here, which I'll be using shortly. So if you can see, I'm using these connectors to make my work a bit easier. So for the connector, when I connect to it, let me use this jumper that I use for both of them. Sorry for the mess on my decks. So let me do this also. So if you can see now, it is showing 4.15, which is almost 4.15 volts. So now what I'm going to do is I want it to go to 2.5. So you can see it is working now. So when you are using this and it gives you error 3, just remove the load, set it. When it start reading this way, then you add the load. That one, it will work. And this is my load, so I can choose to add the 2. When you add the 2, the current consumption will be very high, but I'm using only 1 for now. So my current, you can see my battery voltage has dropped, and this is the current that I'm drawing now. So let me when I add the 2, the current will be around 4 or 8 volts, 0.8 amps or 800 milliamps. So for now, this is what I'm doing to check my battery capacity, if the battery is still strong and will be able to hold the capacity. Let's go back to my power supply. So there is the power supply that I'm going to build. But sorry that I've already started with my project, and this, after the AI wrote everything, after the AI did everything, it gives the comment. So if after the AI doing everything, let's say you the programmer, or you the person who is going to do the programming, have to understand the code. Yeah, you have to understand the code and know what it entails. So what I'll do is, because my Arduino is running now, let's upload the code. And this is the pinout. You can see how the AI has arranged the pins, so you should know the pins that you'll be connecting to. And if you can see my screen, let me share my screen with you. if you can see my screen, it's looking like I'm already running it. But for now, let me run this software, but I'll be explaining it whilst I'm compiling and running. But with this one, yes, so let's go through and let the error come, then we figure out we figure out how to fix the error together. So let me go and select my board type that I'm using. I'm using esp32 development board. Okay, so let me search for exp. Okay, esp32ch esp. So mine is esp32 development board. Can use any of this, but I'm using the development board. So let me select that, then click on okay. Let me check my port. My port is selected successfully. So let me do that, and now you can see I'm having connection. So now that I'm having the connection, I'm already running some code on that board. So before I erase it, let me wait for the serial connection to take place. If not, let me just move to. So now I'm going to upload and debug my code, but I'm coming. Let me restart the board. Yeah. Okay, so you can see now my esp32 is connecting to the system. So my esp32 is connected now, and with the code I can easily know when. So with this one, I told the AI to use the free RTOS and make utilize the dual core processor of the esp32, and you can see. So the only sensor that I'm not having right now, which is going to make the project incomplete, which we can later do that, we can later work on that, is this sensor. So this particular sensor, which is the MPC 4725, write raw data. So that's the only thing that you are going to have problem with. So with this one, let me try and upload my code, because I've compiled and upload this code. I'm a bit confused because I used my different PC to do that, or my different laptop to do that. So let me do the compiling again and see. When I want the error to come up, and so that we can talk about the error, we can go through the error and help you guys to face that error, because I've faced it before. If it happens on this, because I remember I did that on my other PC. So I'll wait for the compilation. Let's say I'll wait for it to compile and upload. So with this compile and upload, I can do it with my AI. I can open Gemini and do it with Gemini. I can also do it with any of the AI tools that I have with me. So this is not something I wrote. I'll not take the credit for that. So this code was written by an AI with my instruction, telling him how I want the project to look like, how I want it to be like. So with this one, after you writing it, you can even talk to your AI so that he modify it. So let's upload this and see the way it works. If it is able to compile and upload and it works perfectly, what we are going to do is we go through the menu and we'll try to connect one or two of the sensors and what I did was I didn't add this sensor to it, which is the voltage sensor. So I'll tell the AI to add the voltage sensor to it, then we'll find how the voltage sensor works. So let me open ChatGPT whilst the software is trying to compile and upload. Let me open ChatGPT. And let's see if ChatGPT will be able to do something about it, or let's talk to ChatGPT and see if it can give us a simple code to test this voltage sensor. If you're able to test this voltage sensor, then that means the next thing we will do is we will tell another AI, which is RAP. I hope I have a bit subscription. I hope I have some tokens to use. But if I don't have any tokens, I can use Gemini or ChatGPT and tell them to add this voltage sensor to my project. So whilst the code is uploading, let me tell ChatGPT. Let me see. Let me tell ChatGPT to allow. So I think we'll be doing more projects with what is going on here. We'll be doing more projects related to batteries, power supply, how to build a power supply to charge your batteries. And these are cheap things that we buy from China. So you buy them from China, you get them, then you build a DIY something for you to use it yourself. Okay, I'm not trying this thing now. All I need is ChatGPT. Let's talk. So what I'm going to do is let me tell ChatGPT write a code for esp32 and a voltage sensor. Okay, let me see for Arduino IDE. For Arduino IDE 2 measure to do what to measure voltage. Okay, let me see what ChatGPT is going to give me. Okay, so I have this voltage sensor, and you can see ChatGPT is telling me the sensor out, the voltage sensor out. So this is the voltage sensor, and if you can see it clearly, I have X, which means sensor out. So this X, and you can see plus and minus, which is ground and positive. So this is used for measuring voltages. So now what I'll do is let me see what ChatGPT has given me. Although I'm compiling this code I'm compiling this code also. Let me see. So ChatGPT is telling me it's going to use ESP32 GPIO36. I think the GPIO36 uses ADC1 channel 0. So when we say the ADC, which is analog digital conversion, so it uses the ADC1 channel 0 to do the voltage measuring. So maybe my ACDP will only measure, but the only problem is we are going to face this issue. I can see my compiling is having an issue. My Arduino is not able to compile the code properly. So let me go back and have a look at it. It tells me that I don't have this on in my library. So let me go to library. Let me do. I should have used my other PC. PDI. Let me see. Yes. So let me install this library also on. PID. Let me do search. So now let me search for my PDI. Oh, you can see I'm not able to install, no search file processing. So it looks like let me see if I can find it. Let me do the PID. So with this one that I'm doing with you guys, so every error we are going to go through together. So let me say my PDI search. There are other quick way of doing some of the things also. Let me see how quickly I can also go about it by, let me see, go to P. I will come before O. So let me see, I before L. Let me see if I'll find, and let me start scrolling. PID, right? Okay, so let me start from here. PA, MPC, then C. From C you go to D. So I should find it somewhere here. Pico. And with this code also, I can input this code to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to do what we call to port it for me. Okay, it looks like it is not here because from this PI key instead of PID. So let me quickly go to Google and go and find it. Okay, so PID. Library, yes, for Arduino. Okay, so let me open Arduino and see if I can get it direct from here. Okay, let me read about it and see where I can get PID controller. No, I want the PID library. I want the library. I don't want the con. Okay, let me see. Let me try it again. Okay, it looks like now my PID wants to download, so it's now downloading. So I'll wait for it to download, then from there, I don't know why it was that slow. So it's now installing, so I'll wait for it to install, then I'll compile the code again and see if I'll get any other error. All this, the most painful thing is whenever you are doing this work. So let me try and do other ones, like one where that one I don't have the library here. So with you can see how I'm struggling going through. If I was to use the wrap software, that one would have been able to install these libraries for me automatically. That one I have tried it before and it worked. It will install the libraries for me automatically. So let me do my library installation. If it's going to give me headache, I just use wrap to upload the code, and anytime it faces any problem, it's just going to tell me that this is what is going on. Let me try and open another sketches to see if I'll be able to install this. If it's going to take my time, what I'm going to do is let me do wrap. Let me open my wrap here. Is it wrap or wap? Well, I don't know how they call it. So let me, yeah, there is it. So let me do open in a new tab, yeah, and let me just tell it what to do. So with that one, I really love that software. It makes it makes programming and coding easy. You, when it opens up, I'll bring you on board, then you see how you can see how I'm struggling with, and I'm struggling going through this software, and see how that software is going to do the work for us. But just that I have less token. Yeah, so there is the software. It's now loading, and they are requesting that I update my. Let me go to settings, and you can see I'm only having this, and it will reset on October 3rd. So I have to quickly use this. But it will shock you, a little command that you do, then it affects it. So let me see if my PowerShell is now running. So I'll wait for it to, because it has to load the file in there. So I think it is almost done. Let me check why it is taking a while. So with this one, on this machine, I think I have my Arduino CLI on it already. So now it has opened the project. So let me tell it to fix all build errors and compile and upload the code to the connected connected esp32. So I've connected my esp32 and it is on COM port it's on COM port 14, sorry 15. So let me click on enter, then let me let the AI do the thing, because I don't know why my Arduino is reading slow. So it's going to give me a plan. So if you can see, planning steps to planning the steps needed to do this. So you can see it's able to identify finding file matching of this file. Okay, let's I forgot to tell it to use Arduino ID. So let me close this my Arduino because it will be loading. So let me use the wrap when my what you call secondary path. Okay, it's going to fix any error that it's loose, so it makes you a bit lazy. So I didn't ask it to add anything or do any special thing. The only thing I need from him, or I need from it, is to be able to compile and upload the code for me. So because I didn't tell it to use Arduino ID, is going to use platform IO. So if you can see, it's trying to do something with platform IO. Let me open this and you can see it's in Arduino ID. So PowerShell, so you can see anytime it tries to create this chart. So let me tell it to use platform Arduino ID. Now before that I have to wait for it to think and go through the process. Okay, yes, so this project is in Arduino ID, so it's going to use the Arduino ID. So it's able to figure out, because it's tried using platform IO and it couldn't find some of the files needed for the platform IO, so it was reading error. So I can see it is Arduino ID project. So now you can see it is trying to launch my Arduino CLI version. It's going to CLI to see if I have CLI on it. That's why it wants to check the version. So it's now checking my CLI version, and you can see it's telling me my CLI version and the date and everything. So now that it has seen that I have CLI on my system, great, CLI is available. Now let me configure and try and compile the project. So you can see it's now trying to list the core so that it can get the CLI devices on my PC. This AI thing that they've done, they've brought to our they've brought us, made some projects and some work easier for us, some of us. So it's still stuck at listing the cost of the CLI, and I'm doing a CLI on my system. Okay, so let's also go through the ChatGPT code that it has shown us. Let me close this software because I'm not using it. So with this software also you building most of the projects yourself. And let me close this. I think I'm using the version 3, right? So the version 2 from here should be okay, and the EC simulator. So let me copy this too, so that next time if I'm not using that device and I'm using this device, it will not be difficult for me. Let me just paste them. And let me minimize them. Then we'll read through. I really hate this when it becomes this slow. I don't know if because I don't have the subscription. Let me do the update also. Show and in progress. So let me copy this code. Copy, install. Yes, quit and install. Sorry guys for going and figure out some of the things. So with this one, what I need is I have to wait for it to. I should have not updated my wrap, my WAP. Yeah. Okay. I should have done that update. Solution. So now it's going to cancel and start the whole process again. Previously it tells me everything I need to know. So let me wait for the application to do the installation. So we'll be building a lot of projects. I'm trying to buy Sportwell and see if I can build this thing. So if you can see, I have these cells already. So it's left with, I've done with the arrangement. So it's left with my sports wording so that I can word the devices onto it. So that's my next target that I'm trying to see if I can get a sport order. DIY costs a lot than a career. So if you want to do, I say DIY. So with this project, we are going to build it with this breadboard. So with the voltage sensor, so it's the only thing left now for the project to be fully done and quickly done. So this is not what I'm going to use for the project. This is a testing board for the project. Yes, so this will be like testing board for the project. This is not the real thing that I'm going to use for the project. Okay, so it looks like now the update is done. So let me wait for it to load. After loading, then I'll tell it to continue with the project. I'll just click on resume conversation. So let me click on it so that it can resume the conversation whilst it is loading the shell. So yes, run. This is what it ran and it got stuck. Let me see. So with this AI thing that is going on, it's really going to make some of us our work easier, because if you understand the system and you know what you want, you just tell the AI to write the software side for you whilst you build the hardware. So with this power supply, I can just do any normal power supply, but just that I wanted my power supply to look a bit smart and able to do one or two things. And even with this code, you can also connect it to your phone so that you get some readings from your phone using your Bluetooth serial connector. So I know it's going to give me some errors, a lot of errors, because I tried writing a software that after the AI did it for me, I made the AI add up certain things to it, and that one, it was the way I like it. But now, because I'm using a different PC, that's why we are struggling a lot. So let me see if my wrap could do it, and let me go to settings and check the tokens that I've used. You can see the tokens that I've used as at now, because one question that I've asked him, he's still working around it. So I'm hoping it's able to list the core of my Arduino CLI. Then let's read about our voltage sensing unit that we are using. So as you can see, it says the voltage sensing unit that we are using ESP plus, likely common resistor divider. So ESP32, since ADC can only measure 0 to 3.3 maximum. Okay, so it looks like my wrap at the back end is doing some work. Let me see. Okay, so it's trying to list so these are the drivers, the boards that I've installed on my Arduino IDE. So you can see it's trying to list them and select the actual board connected. So you can see I have the Arduino. I don't have the Arduino. I usually use the esp32. Babe, okay. So if you can see, I usually use the esp32, but this esp32, right, is 3.2.1 and 3.3.0 is the latest version. But if the CLI is not able to upload the code because of the Bluetooth, so there is going to be a two option. It's either it is going to downgrade it. The last time I did I downgraded the version of my esp32 board before I was able to upload my code to it because of the Bluetooth serial that I was using on the in the code. So with this one, this is the versions, so it has listed all the versions. Let me see if there is any update that I've not done. So the only update is this embedded with Arduino, and this update I've not done it. And I've not updated my esp32 board. Even I'm hoping it works. If it doesn't work, then that means I have to downgrade it. Those are the only boards that needs to be uploaded as at now. So let's check the esp32. So if you have the understanding of what you are doing when the AI is writing the software for you, you can do a little bit adjustment and know what to do. And you can see one thing I like about this, so it picks projects that people have done, then it will rewrite those projects for you. So that's what the AI does. So it rewrites some of the projects, then you tell it how you want it, because it's an AI and it's able to do coding, it's able to add the coding, and you teach it what to do, how you want it to be done. So you can see with this one, it's using is defining the sensor pin to be 36. Then I don't think we are using any library, so it will be because we are using the normal esp32 ADC. So with this esp32 ADC, it's around 12 bytes, and the normal Arduino Uno 3 is around 8 bytes. So that means this one will be a bit faster than that. And this is the reference voltage that we'll be using. So I think I have to check online to see if this sensor will need what you call a voltage divider or a leveler that will step the 5 volt to 12 volt for me. I think when I supply it 5 volt, I should get a, when I supply it 3.3 volt, I should get a 3.3 volt as a result. Before I end up burning my, so you can see it's telling me to use you can see it's using the 5 volt divider. So voltage divider ratio is 5.0, adjust depending on sensor. So example, 5 is equals to 1 volt, so it adjusts depending on the sensor. And this is the resolution. So if you can see the setup, serial print, it tells you serial print, then it tells you delay, then serial print. I think I have to find another Arduino board to connect, the another esp35 board to connect to it and test this thing properly. Let me see. I have another one that I can connect to it and use that one for the project. Yes, I can do that. Let me okay, I'll do that soon so that we can see if it will print and give us the raw data. So you can see it is printing raw data. Yes, and it's telling you, so these are what is going to print on your screen. You get it? These are what is going to print on your screen. And normally, from the understanding I have of this, it also gives you the understanding how it works here. So if you can see, the AI is also teaching you how it works. So it tells you if you want to measure. But the voltage sensor that I have measures from 0 to 25 volts for a battery or power supply. But if I'm using 110 to 120 volts, I have to 110 to 220 volts, I have to use a different voltage. The code works for both AC. Need RMS calculation for accuracy. Do you want to measure DC low voltage? Let me say yes. Yes, DC. I'm doing DC for now. And let me see what ChatGPT is going to adapt to it. Okay, so it's building the code for DC voltage measuring. So what I can do now is I have to test my voltage sensor. Let me see. So you can see it has rewrite the code for me, but it's the same, and it has added certain things to it so that it measures the DC voltage using the reference and other things. So note for your steps, voltage divider. Yes, if you use 30k or 3k resistor divider, ratio 11:1. That means, that means 25 volt input becomes 2.27 volts at Arduino ADC safe, which is safe. Okay, adjust voltage divider ratio in adjust voltage divider ratio in code to match your actual resistor value. Calibration, measuring the same voltage with multimeter. Okay, measure the same voltage with multimeter and compare with esp32 readings. Okay, adjust voltage divider so the reading matches, so I can be adjusting. Yes. I want to add OLED. Yes. Okay. What display should I do? I have the OLED I can do. I have the OLED I can do. So let me do OLED. So see, let me do it. After that, I'll tell it to use a particular library so that my OLED would work. If not, my OLED is not going to work. So let me see. Is because maybe it is going to use Adafruit, and I don't have my Adafruit library will not work with the other. So you can see it has added my OLED, right? But the OLED screens that I have will not work with Adafruit. So let me see if I can open my Arduino. Why is this thing not? Oh, why did you stop the task? Let me do paste and see if it is going to redo it again for me. So let me see if I can find my voltage divider. So with this thing, one thing I like is if I don't get anything, I can just go to Google. So let me do this, and let's go to Google and see how voltage dividers look like. I can also ask ChatGPT, and it's going to give me the voltage divider. Oh, see, what did I type? No. I have to go to bed. I'll wake up tomorrow, but tomorrow is an holiday, so voltage divider for esp32. Okay, let me go to image so that I can get an image of it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So there is an example of voltage measuring tool. So there is the wiring diagram. Let me see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure the resistance on my this where is you. So I'm going to measure the resistance on my, okay, I have the same thing here. So for my research, it looks like someone has even already built the voltage measuring sensing in it. The reason why I'm doing this, I'm giving you the reason today. So the reason why I'm doing it is I'm building a device that I can use to measure CAN lines. So a device that can diagnose CAN lines. So when I build it that way, I will need something to measure the CAN voltage, so that when you connect it to the CAN line, or when you are testing a CAN line, that device could be able to measure the CAN voltage and tell you what is going on the CAN system. That's why I'm trying to do this smart power supply, so that my next project will be great. So if you can see, they are showing a video of how to go about it, but this is what I'm doing. Let me okay. So it shows your voltage. So there is the output interface and the input interface. So if you can see, the ground will go to one ground of your ASP. Sorry, the ground will go to the ground of the voltage unit that you are measuring. So if it is this thing that you are measuring, you are trying to measure the battery voltage, the power supply voltage. Ground will go to ground and power will go to power. So this is where you connect to the ESP32. Let me zoom this thing in. So if you can see, you can forget about this, use the ground and the voltage out. So that's the most important thing that you can do. Oh, why is today the PC wants to freeze on me? So as ChatGPT is saying, let me try and measure. So ChatGPT will search on the net and see the available projects, or let me say the projects that are available. Then it will tell you to. So let's read through the project a bit. So if you can see here, it is not, you can see that that's connected one leg, which is the sensing side, to the esp32, and it has connected the other leg also to the esp32 ground. So it left out it left out the positive sign. Let me measure the resistors that they are using. Where is my multimeter? Okay, so I'm using this multimeter. Let me see if you guys can see the multimeter. Yeah, you can see I'm going to measure the let me do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, yeah, you can see the multimeter. So I'm going to measure this small resistance for us to see the kind of resistance that the system is using. But before that, let me zero out my multimeter. Yeah, my test lead is on 0 and now everything is on 0. So let me measure it. So if you can see, I'm having 7.46k ohm resistor. Let me check the other one, and that one is 20k ohm resistor. So 27k ohm resistor. So let's say almost like 30k ohm resistor, and this one is almost like 10k. The reason why I'm saying this one is almost like 10k is because we are going to use the is because so guys, let me check if you are back online. So I think I can close this now. This is a simple code for me to use. Yeah, analog digital signal. Okay, so let me do copy and close the software, and let me see how far. Okay, so it is now downloading some of the, I think it will download the index that I said, the index, the libraries that I do not have. So I'll wait for it to do the downloading. Oh, okay. So that means whilst I was not watching, it was doing a lot. So you can see it doesn't have this. Based on the code analysis, I can see the following libraries are required but may be missing. So these libraries are missing, so it's going to install all these libraries onto the PC. Let's check. Yeah, so I'll just wait for it to do the installation. Let me see, it was able to. Okay, so this is now, let me examine the code to identify the required libraries. Okay, that are missing. Okay, so after the code list, let me see, it was able to list the ESP that I have. Then it view the listed the libraries that I have on the system. Yeah, there are a lot of libraries that have to be updated. Okay, so it's found out that I don't have that libraries. So you see why I like this AI. It's found out that I don't have these libraries on my system. So it is now downloading these libraries onto my system. Then it will continue with the code compilation. So it's trying to download all these four listed libraries. Then it's going to download and install them. Whilst it is doing the download and install, let me also close this thing and we'll come back to it. But before that, let's continue with our test. So with this now, I can make my multimeter, can make it easier for my multimeter, but let me try and do all at once. So let me measure my voltage. Okay, you are getting negative because I've turned the probes, it's not anything. So now we have, so I'll see if this, I forgot to know if I'm using a boost convector or a back convector. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is the actual voltage. Let me stop blocking you guys. Okay, let me start adjusting the voltage. And see if the signal is going to adjust. You can see I'm now going to 10 volts, so 11 volts. If you can see, I'm now on 11 volts and I'm now on 12 volts. And let me go to 24 and see. No, I can't get to 24. Wow, this thing can blow my, so this thing can measure up to 24, right? So this is a boost converter that I'm using because the voltage is below 12 volts. So I should be very careful with this, with the voltages that I'll be measuring. So what I'm going to do is I have to also do the calibration. Because my ESP32 can measure above 3.3 volts. So let me reduce it to, if I have to measure 12 volts, that means it will be a bit difficult for me. So let me see. If not, then I have to bring in something we call voltage divider. Yeah, so this is a boost converter. The voltage can only go up, it can't go down. So let me see if I'll find a voltage divider in my tools. So when we say a voltage divider, I mean this could be or they call it voltage level sensor. So let me try it and see if it's going to reduce the voltage. Okay, so let me place it here. I'm going to use, so whilst we are waiting for the code to compile for us to be able to then let me use this. Okay, 2 in 2 out. So let me see, they call it level sensor, the voltage level sensor. So let me see my level sensor. Oh shit, I have to remove this thing. And check my level sensor. So level sensor 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, I'll need only 1. Okay, so what the level sensor does is it reduces the 5 volts that your device is supplying. So 1 is ground, so let me see, let me connect it to this one here, then let me connect this to ground. So ground. Okay, so let me move this one. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so that I can test it from the tip. This is ground, and this is level sensor. Okay, so this, I'm going to see the kind of voltage I'll be getting now. So let me measure this and that and see. Okay, you can see, wow, my level shifter is really, really high. Okay, so even if I do it this way, voltage is high. If I do it this way, voltage is still high. Okay, I brought my back, yes. So normally what the level shifter has to do is, the level shifter has to reduce the voltage. So let me ask ChatGPT about adding a level shifter to my project. Yeah. Find my connectors. Oh, this multimeter too. Okay, so now this is my level shifter, and This is the voltage I'm having. Oh, why is my voltage? Okay, let me increase, because this is a boost converter. I can only increase the voltage. Let me ask that. This T2 is still loading. Let me see where it has still it hasn't completed. Wow, downloading the libraries. Even it's not even done with one yet, then the rest. I don't know why, because this software used to be cloud, so I don't know why it's trying to be. I'm skipping. Because if I skip any of this, my code is not going to compile. Yeah, let me see if my chat GPT is back alive. Oh, back alive. It's still frozen. Okay, let me use any moment from now. I have to go to sleep. Let me see. Still, let me see my F7. Still running. So let me see ChatGPT again. Or I can go to Google and just do the search. So if you can see, wait. Let me minimize this. Bring this up. So let me use the screwdriver to adjust the voltage, and let's see how quickly the voltage will be dropping. So now it is around 8 volts. So let me start increasing the voltage. Oh, it's decreasing. Wow. Okay, so as the voltage is going down, my voltage is also going down. Let me just start increasing it. So if you can see now, the voltage is increasing, and if my voltage level doesn't work the way I want it, let me do this. Allow ChatGPT. Okay, so let me turn the connection. Something has come up for me to do something with it. So let me. So if you can see, I'm now on 11 volt, 11.7, and it's measuring 2.6. Yeah, so 11.7 and it's measuring 2.6. Let me do this. Let me bring this one here and carry this. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's the sense inside. Let me do this on this and this on that. Then let me do this ground here and that ground. The same thing, but just that I'm now getting the right voltages. So then what's the essence of this device? Let me increase it. Let me see. Because now I'm at 13 volts. I'm at 14 volts. Let me see how far I can go. I'm on 16 volts. Still, it's not able to do. So let me see. Okay, let me go to ChatGPT. Voltage, voltage divide by the esp32. Oh, see, I have to use Google search rather. See me too. Okay. What am I using this calculation for? So, okay, so depending on your voltage divider, so the resistance of your voltage divider, that's what it's going to use. So let me oh, I didn't ask you to continue this project. Oh, okay, converting. Let me go to Google rather. Level with level shifter. Yeah, that is the same thing I'm having. Okay, let me see if I'll find a connection. Okay, no, I want from yeah, so it's rather level shifter. So let me see how the connection is, because I don't know why it's not able to drop my 5 volts, because if I turn it to 24 volts, it should be up to, this thing can take up to 24 volts, right? So it should be up to 5 volts. So let me see, let me turn it to 25 volts and 24, 20, let me be very careful with my 25. 25, yeah, I'm on 25 volts, and you can see, I'll bring you guys back. So I'm on 25 volts here, and you can see I'm getting 4.7. So this level shifter is supposed to drop this voltage so that it will convert the 5 volts right into 3.3 volts, so it will break it down in it for me. And it's not able to do it because if I feed my Arduino with this voltage, it is going to go haywire. It's going to go haywire out of order. It will blow. So the best I can do is let me see. Okay, using the EB $2 level shifter 0.3 device and avoid all those hassling. Okay. I don't want this. I want my level shifter to be working. Okay, this is a simple one. Let me see if I'll find any other document or level shifters. So let me go down again and see. Okay, how can you translate logic signal from 5 volts to 3 volts here using a level shifter? Let me go through this and see. Oh, I have a scope. Oh, it's not. This not what I'm searching for, niggas. Niggas. It's not what I'm searching for. Because I want to use the esp32 to be able to measure 25 volts. I'm not getting any better information. Bidirectional logic level converter hookup. 5 volt down to 3 volts. Let me see if I get any better information here. So I have to do all these tests before I even go on the project itself, or else I'll end up buying car. Let me see how far are you? Oh, okay. Okay, so it's installing this for me. So this is what it is installing. One thing I like about this is you can also go through and check what is going on with your project. So only that one, and after now you have not been able to finish it. 23 minutes and you are still at one place. to my level shifter thing that I'm doing. Okay, so this is the exact thing I'm having, but I'm having the blue ball. See if they will have a diagram for me before I go and read about it. Okay, so this H1, okay, then let me read. This is basically one level shifter circuit on board, which is repeatedly, and this circuit uses a single N channel MOSFET. Okay, and a couple pull up resistor to realize bidirectional shifts. Okay, so level shifter 1. So high voltage input and low voltage input. Okay, so channel 1, there is the low voltage input, and there is the high voltage. The pin labeled HV and LV and 2 ground provide high and low voltage reference to the board. Supply a stable regulator voltage to the board. So the voltage supplied to the high voltage and ground input should be higher than that supplied to the low voltage side. For example, if you are interfacing from 5 to 3.3 volts, the voltage on the high voltage. Okay, let me bring this multimeter also. Sorry. Okay, so for example, if you're interfacing, the voltage on the high pin should be 5 volts, and the voltage on the low should be 3 volts dual channel. So I'm having like 5 channel. Okay, let me see if I'm going to get the wiring right. So this is it. Okay. Ground to ground. Okay, so this is how it should be wired. So 3 volts, right? That means this is the high side and this is the low side. Okay, let me do this. Let me just remove it and examine it. So if you can see beneath it, let's go to. Okay, so let me lift my camera up a bit so that you can see my 2 screens. So if you can see, I have the high side and the low side, right? So that means the low side should go to this side and the high side should go to the other side as well. I have to fix it like this. Where's the bar? This is pin 1 and this is ground 1, 2, 3 ground, and this is 1, 2, 3 ground, and this is pin 1. So now let's start our measuring. Why are you not measuring anything? Let me check this voltage. 35.30. So I should get this and that. Okay, that means this unit is not bringing out any voltage. So let me do this. Then let me check my connection properly. Five volts, okay. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it's for my connection here. So let me work on it. Yeah, so I think now my level shifter is working. So my level shifter is working.